Welcome back to Sierra Sunday. Thanks so much for tuning in to my weekly video. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a story time because I totally had something else planned for today's video, and then, you know, life is what happens when you're making plans, as they say, and I had something happen on Friday night, and so I figured I would do a little story time about it because it was kind of more interesting and more of a pressing thing than what I was originally planning to make my video about. So before I get underway with the story time of this video, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, click that little gray bell, and also check out my social medias, Sierra Michelle Green on Instagram and Sierra M Green on Twitter. But thanks so much for tuning in, and without further ado, this is the story of how I got robbed in West Hollywood. I went out on Friday night, February 1st, for one of my good friend's birthday. We started the night, if you're familiar with West Hollywood at all, it's like a really nice area. There's a lot of gay bars that are super fun to go dance at. There are some nicer restaurants too, like Sir and Pump. So we went to the Sir restaurant. It's like the whole Vanderpump reality show that they have going on is like those two restaurants are like connected. So we went to Sir, like 10 of us, for dinner, and we got drinks. It was like super fancy. You know, we all kind of dressed up, took nice pictures. Everything was going great. And then after that, we paid and we're like, okay, well, we're gonna go to a few of the other bars around there. So we went to a bar called the Abbey. We got drinks. It was a good time. We were, you know, watching the dancers, having fun. Again, there's like 10 girls. We're just having a girls' night out. I'm not really worried about anything. And then after that, we went over to a bar called Flaming Saddles. Flaming Saddles is really fun. They have a lot of Western themed stuff, like music. They play a lot of hits. They have like a riding bull thing swing you can sit on. Everyone's wearing cowboy hats. It's kind of just like a country western bar, but it's still very modern and it's a lot of fun. I love the music they play because like they'll do things like Party in the USA or like the Barbie Girl Barbie World song, like just funsy stuff people can all like have fun and sing along to. So at this point, we, you know, we'd had a few drinks, we were having a lot of fun, and inside the bar, we were upstairs and then we were downstairs and we're just hanging out, having a good time and dancing. And I had been texting Jason, my boyfriend, on and off throughout the night because he was going to come pick me up at the end of the night. So I'd been, you know, texting him, you know, whatever, just saying hi. And I sent my last text to him at 12 o'clock midnight. And then most of the night, I always put my phone in my purse. I don't ever really keep my phone in my back pocket just because I have small back pockets and I have like a phone, like the Plus phone, so it, you know, is really big. It doesn't really fit, so I usually just keep my phone in my purse. But because I had, you know, again, I'd had a few drinks, you know, wasn't really thinking, but I was like, oh, I'm going to text him and he's going to respond in a minute, so I'm going to just put my phone in my back pocket. So I put my phone in my back pocket. And then I went up to like the dance floor where the dancers were performing. And you know, the dancers were like doing all these tricks and flips and whatever, and they were very talented. And I felt a couple of people bump up against me, against my back, and I just figured, oh, it's like the dance floor, I got bumped, but I should check my back pocket just to make sure my phone's still there. And I reached into my back pocket and my phone was gone. So immediately I looked on the ground, like, did I drop it? No. I looked around me, didn't see anyone who looked suspicious. I ran back to where I'd been standing before. I checked my purse. I looked everywhere and I started to freak out. And I was like, because also, note to self, note to everyone, back up your phone. I had not backed up my phone since I bought it. I bought my phone in August and I have not backed it up because I am dumb and just forgot to, or like got lazy, I don't know what, but I hadn't backed up my phone. So I, like, all my notes, all my photos, thank goodness my contacts and calendar were backed up to the cloud, but the rest of it was not backed up. So I started freaking out and I looked everywhere, and so I immediately went on Find My iPhone, and my friend gave me her phone, and I went on Find My iPhone to look for it, because that's the best way to track it, and immediately it was turned off. It said it was offline, which means that somebody had taken it and turned it off, and I know it didn't die. I had like at least 60% battery, so I know it didn't die. So I immediately went onto Instagram and I DM'd Jason through my friend's Instagram, and I was like, hey, my phone got stolen. A, can you come pick me up? And B, can you go on Find My Friend, you know, where you can track people's locations and see where the last place it said the phone was. So he tracked my phone to the last place it said it was, which is a bar called Mickey's, which was down the street from Flaming Saddles where we were, and I had not been in Mickey's. So it means whoever took my phone went to Mickey's and had it there and then turned it off so I couldn't get to it. So I essentially was like, at this point, I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I went to the bouncer and I was like, hey, so my phone just got stolen here. Like, has anyone turned anything in? Like, do you know anything? And he goes, oh yeah, that happens a lot here. We kind of have a problem with that. We're working on it. And I was like, what? Like, you have a problem with people stealing phones here? Like, I've never heard of that. And he was like, yeah, it happens all along the, the Santa Monica Boulevard, like the strip. Like, everyone gets their phone stolen. And I was like, okay, so I was kind of distraught and I was upset. So Jason took me through the McDonald's drive-thru because I was upset. We got home. I tried tracking it again, couldn't find anything. I put it on lost mode. I suspended it and I canceled my Apple Pay so no one could access my credit card. And then the next morning I woke up and I was upset and I was like, okay, well, I have an old phone. I have like my old iPhone SE, which is kind of like, it's like the size of an iPhone 5. It's like essentially the same model as the 6, but it's an older phone. So I still have that phone in my drawer. So I charged it, turned it back on, and I was able to use it like as an iPod Touch. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it to AT&T and I'm gonna get a SIM card in it so I can use it as my phone, get my phone number transferred over to my small phone. So I went to AT&T, and you wouldn't believe, when I was in AT&T, there was another guy, and we went to the AT&T in North Hollywood, like, which is far from West Hollywood, like at least 30 minutes away. There was another person in AT&T filing a phone replacement thing because their phone had been stolen out of their back pocket at Flaming Saddles. So legit in North Hollywood, this other guy I ran into also had his phone taken out of his back pocket at Flaming Saddles last night on Friday. So I was a little bit like, I was like, okay, well, like, one phone, that's like a crime of opportunity. 2 phones, that's weird, especially both out of a back pocket. And he said that he had his phone taken when he was watching the dancers, and which is when I was having it too. So then later, I went down to the West Hollywood police station to file a police report for my missing phone, because you can only do it online if your item is worth less than like $900, and I think my phone's worth more than that. So I went to the police station, I filed a police report. There was another girl in there, in the police station, and I overheard her saying to her friends, yeah, blah, 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 Flaming Saddles. And I was like, are you here because you got your phone stolen at Flaming Saddles last night? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, out of your back pocket? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, when you were watching the dancers? And she was like, yeah. So that's 3, and those are just the random people I ran into. Who knows how many more? So there was somebody there at Flaming Saddles who's going around taking phones out of people's back pockets and then immediately turning them off. I asked the guy in AT&T, and I also asked the girl in the police station. They said immediately I tried to track it and it was turned off within 5 minutes. And so this person knows what they're doing. And both of us felt like we'd been bumped, but like that was it. So during the police report, I sat down with the deputy and I told him what was happening. And he said, oh yeah, there's a crime ring that's going on in West Hollywood right now. These people, on the nights that the dancers are there, they target like Flaming Saddles, the Abbey, Mickey's, and Revolver, like these main clubs that are on West Hollywood. And they take phones, not only out of people's back pockets, but out of their purses, like if you set it down on the counter. So there's something like going on. He said there's like 3 to 4 people that go and frequent it. They all work in cahoots and they take phones. So, and he said, so then after I went to the police station and filed my report, I went back to Flaming Saddles and I asked to talk to the manager. And I told him what happened, and he was like, oh yeah, we have a huge problem with that. It's really frustrating. And he goes, and I've noticed that more phones get stolen on the night when these certain 3 dancers are performing. And he's like, oh, maybe it's because like these 3 dancers are like the most talented. So maybe that's why, more phones get taken when people are more distracted. And I immediately thought, if there's a correlation between when certain dancers are working and more phones getting stolen, that's really fishy, because it makes it seem like maybe somebody who works there is in on it. And I'm not trying to make any accusations, like low-key want to get Shane Dawson out here to like do a conspiracy theory on this whole situation, because I went on Yelp just to see, and in the last 2 months, there are at least 5 to 6 Yelp reviews saying that me and several of my friends got our phones stolen, or when I was at Flaming Saddles and I was watching the dancers, phones were stolen out of my back pocket. So there is something going on at Flaming Saddles in West Hollywood where there is like a crime ring that is targeting these phones. And so then when I asked the police about it, I'm like, so what's been happening to the phones? He goes, they turn them off, they don't turn them back on, they keep them turned off, they ship them overseas, where they're wiped overseas, where they can't be tracked by the United States anymore. They're wiped, and then they're resold overseas. And I don't know if he meant Asia, Europe, like, you know, the Middle East. I don't know where they're taking them, but this is like some advanced operation, and these people who are taking them are good. So anyway, if you live in LA, if you go out in West Hollywood ever, do not put your phone in your back pocket. Keep it in your purse, and keep your purse or in your front pocket like of a jacket. Like keep it like super safe, and just be really careful. And it sucks because I asked like the manager, like, okay, do you have security footage we could look at? And they're like, no, you know, like all you can see is like a grainy face, and like we can't really do that, and like the privacy of our customers and blah blah blah. So essentially like there's nothing I can do. And I know I asked the police, I'm like, what is the chance of anyone ever getting their phone back? He goes, 0%. We don't know who these guys are. We don't know where the phones are going. No one's gotten their phone back. And also, and again, mine's not backed up. So I lost all my photos from the last 6 months, all my text messages, all of my notes I had made as far as like various things I'd been working on, like projects that I had made notes in my phone, all my apps, everything that like didn't have a separate login. Like I'm very frustrated, but I have to realize what's important is that I'm okay. The people I was with were okay. You know, my family's okay, like the big important things, you know. But it's been very frustrating that somebody is so heartless and is so wrapped up in their own money-making scheme that they would do something like this, and they would target so many people every night. Like it's horrible. And I don't know, I've thought about going back to Flaming Saddles and like having a decoy phone, or being obviously completely sober, like going with friends and trying to catch these people and trying to figure it out, because obviously it doesn't really seem like the bar's authorities are really trying to do anything. Like they said they're gonna like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some new cameras, and I'm like, okay, well obviously it's not really helping anything. It's been like 2 months that this has been going on, you know, like. Anyway, so it is frustrating. Part of me wants to get involved. Part of me says that's really stupid, and that's how I'm going to end up, like, something bad happening, and I end up in the middle of, like, I don't know, some really bad criminal organization I don't mean to get involved in. So I need to just, like, let it go, and it's fine. Like, you know, it just sucks because I just paid off that phone, and I only had it for 6 months. Which I guess is good in one sense, because, you know, I didn't lose that much data, only like 6 months worth of stuff. And like some of my friends have photos that they're sending me, like Jason's sending me the pictures of him that I've sent him, or some of my friends from Horror Nights, they're sending me pictures I took, because I've lost them all. But you know, the main important thing is that like we're okay, I'm okay, and like my friends are okay, and like nothing really bad happened. But like still, it just really sucks, and I want to get to the bottom of it, because it's not just like a one-time petty theft. Like there are people who are targeting this bar and people here, and it's some kind of grand organization, and I want to figure out who it is and stop it. But again, I'm not Nancy Drew. As much as I want to be Nancy Drew, I'm not Nancy Drew, so I don't want to do anything stupid. But anyway, that is the story of how I got robbed this weekend. And so again, I'm gonna get a new phone at some point, but I obviously have to save up a little bit, because, you know, iPhones aren't cheap. But at least I have one that works for now, my old iPhone SE that is on like iOS 10 and has like no battery and whatever. But you know, it works, it makes calls, it receives text messages. So anyway, that was my weekend. But yeah, just be careful if you go out, and not just in West Hollywood, like anywhere you live, just don't put your phone in your back pocket ever. Like, I've learned my lesson on that. Never your back pocket, and always back up your phone, because, and get insurance too. I filed a claim with my renter's insurance for like personal property theft to see if that will get me anything, because I had Apple Care, but Apple Care doesn't cover theft and loss, which really sucks. So yeah, anyway, just learn from my mistakes, back up your phone, have phone insurance. Yeah, don't go to flaming saddles. Like, just, I don't know, be careful out there. And anyway, hopefully my next video is on a little more positive note, but just want to do a little story time about what happened this weekend. And anyone who's had, a lot of people have reached out to me and offered, like, you know, support and condolences and like just community and being there for me. I really appreciate it, so thank you so much. Anyway, thanks for watching Sierra's Sunday and for watching my story time. I'm about to go to a bar with my boyfriend and we're gonna watch the Super Bowl, so that's gonna be really fun. Probably gonna get a drink and some french fries, maybe some chicken wings, I don't know, something to feel good. Anyway, that's all. Happy Sunday. It's raining in LA, so if you live in LA, stay dry. If not, I don't know, enjoy the sunshine or stay out of that polar vortex or whatever's going on in the Midwest. I don't know, too cold. But anyway, that's all from me. Thanks so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys next week. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Bye-bye!